Hi everyone, this is Smruti. Welcome to QA automation classes. In the last class, we have seen the how to create the Maven run configuration, and we have verified the extend report results as well. And today we are going to extend it, and today we are going to make the browser as the parameter, right? So instead of hard coding the browser in your properties file, we are going to pass this as a command line argument. Okay, same thing can be done for the environment. So let's understand the concept how to do that. So let's go to our pom.xml first. So open your IntelliJ. So let's go to our pom.xml. So if you see here, right? So we have our pom.xml here, right? The entered information about the Maven configuration, dependencies, and everything. This is here. Plugins and all everything is here, right? So now the problem is like I want to parameterize. I want few new parameters over here. So how to specify those parameters over here, right? So we can do one thing. So here we can say maybe we'll go with the two things. One is the environment, another one is the browser. So let's say environment, okay, and let's say environment, and similarly we have one more called the browser. Okay, so browser, okay, and let's say sorry browser. Okay, so now I'm saying I have two tags. One is the environment, another one is the browser. Okay, this is these two I just defined here so that um, whoever comes and sees this form.xml, they can understand. Okay, so there are two more tags which is going to get used in the project. Okay, so now what we need to do, so let's get rid of our browser information from the properties file. So what is our properties file? Configuration.properties. If you see, browser equals to Chrome, right? So why actually we are doing this? Okay, first let me explain the demerit of this approach. So when you are hard coding your browser information with your properties file or in the base steps, wherever you are hard coding it, right? So whenever you run, right, whenever you run it, you have to come, suppose I have to run it, whenever you run it will by default take the Chrome and it will run. In our case, right, we have defined browser equals to Chrome. So any number of times I want to run, either I run from the pom.xml, I run testng.xml, either I run the individual test case also. So each time browser will be considered as the Chrome. And now suppose you can say, okay, so suppose I'll say, okay, let's run it in the Chrome. Instead of the Chrome, let's run it in the Edge. So you can say, okay, come here and update the browser from Chrome. It remove the Chrome and make it as the Edge and save it and run it. Okay. Then same with the Firefox. Okay. So come at configuration.properties, update the browser parameter to Firefox and then save it and then run it. That is fine. Whenever you are running from the local, it is fine. But in real time, right, this is not you are going to run, right? So you will not be invoking it on a daily basis, right? So we have the scheduler in the code base will be in your repository, GitHub or whatever you are using repository. You will have those remote repository configured and your code will be there, right? And in those remote repository like GitHub or Bitbucket, right, or GitLab, so from there we'll configure, we'll have a job, right, through the some scheduler, through the most commonly used as the Jenkins. Through the Jenkins we'll schedule it, right? And there, let's say I want to run on the different browsers, I want to see the browser compatibility. So I want to run my regression test cases on the Chrome and Firefox and Edge also. So in that case, it is not ideal for you to go and first invoke that job and then run it with the Chrome and then again go to your repository, remote repository, and update the browser to the Edge and then run it again, right? So that is not ideal, right? You cannot do it. So in that case, what we'll do, we'll parameterize this browser itself, right? So when we do parameterize this browser, what happens whenever you run your command, right? So if you see, this is the command, right, we built last time, your Maven command. You run clean test, right? So I'm saying clean test. So here I'll pass that browser information. I'm saying clean test browser request to Chrome. So now it will run when I run this one, it will run on the Chrome only. When I'm saying clean test browser request to Firefox, it will run on the Firefox. When I say clean test browser request to Edge, it will run on the Edge. So similarly, when I create the jobs, I can specify the command, right? Maven command. I'll say clean test Chrome. I can make one job for the Chrome, run the entire test suite in the Chrome browser. Similarly, I can create one more job and say clean test browser equals to Firefox. So that job is only responsible to run in the Firefox. Then again I can say clean test browser equals to Edge, right? So that job will only take the Edge browser and run. So how to achieve it, right? So in order to do that, so first we have to get rid of hard-coded value of the browser from your properties file or base steps wherever you have. So in our case it is properties file, so we'll get rid of this one, right? So let's go to our testng.xml. So we have the two tests to be done. So just for this one runs 4 times, so it takes a lot of time. So I'll just comment it out. Okay, so let's comment it out. Let's try with the one line of code only. Surround with comment, line comment. Okay, fine. So now we have only one test case. Okay, so now and we have to do some changes to the base types, right? Where exactly we're initiating our code Java, right? Our driver code, it is in the base types, right? If you see here in the base types, okay, right? So browser name equals to prop.get property browser, but this will not work now. Why? Because in configuration.properties we don't have the browser information. Now it is commented out, so it will not work. So let's get rid of this one also. Okay, so instead of that, what we will do, so instead of property.get property, we have something system.get property. Okay, so what this system.get property will do, so system.get property. So what is the property? So property name is the browser. Okay, the property name is the browser. Okay, so this one will assign to browser name. So browser name we have already defined, guys. So I'm just assigning browser name equals to system.get property and browser. Okay, instead of property.get property, it is system.get property. So what exactly is this browser? What exactly is this system.get property? So this system.get property will get hold of whatever value you are passing from your command line. Okay, so now I'm saying browser, I'll pass this browser information from the command line also, right? And now let's say just change this one, because we are not reading from the properties file, we are passing it from the command line interface, right? So browser info passed from command line is okay. Now you can say is browser name, right? Okay, so browser name, so looks good now. Okay, so now what else we can change here? There is nothing else to change here. I think we are good over here. And okay, so before running, so let's run this individual test and try to understand what exactly happens here. So we don't have the see, we are saying we are passing the browser name from the command line argument. So what happens when you run your individual test? Let's go to this tc01. Okay, so this is the individual test, right? I can right click and say run tc01 open login page. So when I click on this one and run it, what happens? So it will not find the browser information. Why? Because we are supposed to pass the browser information from the command line argument. There is no command line argument involved here when I directly ran this test case, right? So if you see, I just directly ran this test case. Okay, so it is passing, it will build and it will start. Okay, so let's see. Yes, it is failing. So why it is failing? Let's see. See, so browser info passed from the command line is null because we have not yet passed anything, right? Browser info, and since this is null, we cannot have anything. Okay, you cannot run this one. It is unable to instantiate the browser. Okay, so we have to pass this information from the command line. So where exactly we have to pass this information? So let's go to our configuration, edit configuration, right? So Maven UI run. Okay, so clean test we have understood. Okay, so now you say -d. Okay, -d and just say browser equals to Chrome. So whatever you are passing here, browser, right? The same thing, system.get property, you have to use the same variable name. Okay, so I'm saying clean test, and remember -d, capital -d for the parameter we have to specify. If multiple parameter you are passing, -d browser equals to Chrome, and again -d environment equals to QA, again -d TestNG equals to some failed test cases.xml, whatever is there you can pass, right? So -d is important if you are passing. Okay, remember this one. So now if you see, the command is modified at clean test -d browser equals to Chrome. So now I'll say apply. Okay, so now if I hit run now, let's see what happens. So it's saying on roll lifecycle phase test hyphen d browser. Okay, oh, we need to give a space over here. Let's see, edit configuration, clean space test, and then here give a space. Okay, space hyphen d browser equals to Chrome. Okay, say apply, say okay, and now let's invoke it. Let's run it. Let's see, building the Selenium framework demo 1.0 snapshot. Okay, compiling. Okay, changes detected, recompiling the module, surefire plugin. Okay, running test suite. So started. So browser info passed from, let's see what is showing. Okay, let's see the execution first. So it opened the browser, navigated to website, maximize the window, click on sign up or login, and then close it. Yeah, the second test we didn't run, only we ran for the first one, right? Yes. So if you see, where is it? Okay, so UI run build success. Okay, test run one and no failures. Okay, and everything got passed over here. Okay, so what exactly we did here? So we passed the browser information from the here, right? D browser equals to Chrome. So similarly, we have seen, right? So we can do one more thing, right? We can go ahead with the different browser also, Edge and Firefox also, right? So let's see that one also. Okay, so now you saw our build is success. And one more thing I'll tell you, this whatever you are doing, this system.get property, right? So initially I told you in form.xml, right, you have to pass this environment and browser information. Okay, this is not mandatory, right? This is just to inform the user like we are going to use them, right? So if you don't use them also, this is also fine. The system.get property will always get the details from your command line argument, whatever you are passing, right? So now if I will go and do it comment. Okay, so now let's run and see what is happening. Run. See, it is opening and it is perfectly executing. There is absolutely no error. Okay, so the thing is, in pom.xml, if you don't want to give also, you can say I don't want to give. Okay, so if you see, this is perfectly fine, build is success. Okay, so now similarly we can do one for the Edge. Okay, so this is your I think Firefox I have not installed. Okay, so now let's configure one more with the Edge. Edit configuration, so click on it, Maven. Okay, so here command line, so again clean. Okay, and then test, and then hyphen d browser equals to Edge, right? So browser equals to Edge, apply. Okay, so let's go to the base steps. And what are the changes we need to do? Nothing, right? Browser name system.get property and Edge. Okay, equal, in this case it will match. Okay, so now I can update the names. Let's update the names, right? A little bit, otherwise it is difficult, right? You will understand how to, which one is which one. So UI run, let's make it Chrome execution. Sorry, Chrome run, right? That's a Chrome run, right? Chrome run. And let's say one more is your edit configuration. This is your Edge run, right? Edge run. Give some meaningful name, whatever you want. So apply. Okay, and I want to run this Edge, so let's run this one and see. So browser info passed is Edge. Okay, I don't know if browser is updated or not, but let's see if it fails, then we'll go ahead and update the Edge, and then we'll rerun it. Okay, okay, So age also opened. Okay, cool. Navigated and closed. Okay, cool. So if you see here also, it got perfectly compiled and perfectly executed. Okay, no error, nothing. Okay, so build is successful here. So similarly, I don't have Firefox installed on my system. If Firefox is there, the same thing will go with the Firefox also. Okay, so in the upcoming sessions, I'll try to install the Firefox and we'll see how to execute in the Firefox as well. Okay, so this is how you will execute your tests in the different browser, and this is how you will parameterize. Okay, so let's go to the configuration.properties and get rid of this entire line as well. Okay, and let's go to the base steps. Let's delete this line also, remove this line from here. Okay, what else? Right, okay, so I think we are good here. Okay, and quickly I can run one more time on edge. Okay, let's run and see. So whenever you are passing any variable like browser information or environment, especially the browser information, when you are passing, you should never run your test cases independently. Like if individual test you are trying to run, it will not able to find the browser information only, and it will fail, right? So whenever you are parameterize these things, so make sure you call it from the your command line argument. Okay. So now if you see, this is build success is passing. So here it is like connection reset. It is when internet is bit slow, sometimes you will get this one, but if you have a good internet connection, you will not get this. Is connection is getting reset in between actually. Okay, so that should be okay. Okay, so if you see, there are no failures. Okay, so and one more thing I wanted to tell you. So we just saw about the browser, right? And I told one more thing called the environment, right? So how to do this environment? Let's say you have a requirement to run the your test script in the dev and stage and the QA, right? So three environment you need to run, or maybe in the production you run a specific smoke test suite, right? So how to do that? So here also, if you see in the properties file, we're kind of hard coding the URL, right? So, so instead of this, what we can do, you can say here uh, dev URL. Okay. So in real time, you will have the dev URL. Similarly, you can have your QA URL, right? So in our case, everything is same only. Let's say QA URL, right? And one more, you can have your stage URL, right? So you will have the URLs like this. Okay. And when you are configuring, right? So go to edit configuration, and here you can say again -d browser equals to, not browser, hyphen d, environment equals to, environment equals to, you can say QA, right? So environment equals to QA or something you can say. And here what will happen, how you pass the browser equals to edge, similarly you can pass the browser environment equals to QA, right? So then what you will do, you go to your what is that, base steps, right? So where we are going to the environment, right? So properties file, okay, navigating to the app URL, okay, here, right? So URL from the properties file, so you get rid of this information. Okay, app URL also here, instead of property.get property, same thing, you do system.get property. Okay, system.get property, what you will say, you will say the environment, right? Instead of URL, environment, whatever the environment, whatever the variable you are passing from the command line argument, the same thing you have to pass here. So you say this is environment. And here, how for the browser we had the if else conditions, right? If environment equals to QA, right? If this environment app URL equals to QA, then what you need to do, then you go ahead and load the dev URL. If the environment equals to dev, then app URL equals to prop.get property dev URL. So it will go and get this dev URL and it will load. Okay, so similarly, else if, again, else if what is that, if URL dot equals ignore case, if yeah, sorry, if environment dot equals ignore case equals to QA, right? Then app URL equals to property dot get property QA URL, right? That's what you have told here, QA URL. So then this QA URL will load, right? Similarly for the stage you can do, right? If environment dot environment dot equals to ignore case equals, if your environment is equal to stage, your environment equals to stage, then you load the stage URL, right? Like how we load for the dev and QA, same thing you do for the stage also, right? So there is a if else conditions you have to mention, and depending upon the whatever the parameter you are passing from the command line argument, you go and initiate that URL, right? Hope it is clear, right? So similar manner, if you want to configure the jobs, right? If you want to configure one job to run on the day, one from the QA, one in the stage, some specific regression, smoke test suit on the production environment also, you can do that with the help of this parameterization concept, right? So hope you guys are clear, and this is all to this session, and we saw how to parameterize the browser, how to parameterize the URL, right? Both the things we saw. So I will request you to try to do in your real-time project, go and replace this URL or base URL with whatever. You have multiple URLs, right? So, and make sure, if you, when you are doing the write operation, make sure don't do any write operation in your stage and the production environment. Those should be only read only operation. It depends on your environment, right? But production is a big no to go and update anything, right? So if you want to run your automation script in the production environment, you should have a only read-only operation related test cases annotated with the smoke test or marked with the smoke test. Only those you should run without any write operations. Okay, so be careful with that. And yeah, that's all to this class, guys. If you guys are really enjoying these sessions, I'll request you to subscribe to my channel and share this with your friends and colleagues. And please stay tuned to Q automation classes for the further sessions. In the next class, we'll see parallel execution issues with respect to the current framework, right? So that's all, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.